women find guys who don't pedestalize them irresistible, okay? Women are attracted to men who don't simp for them, who don't put them on a pedestal. Now, unfortunately, in the Western world, what we're seeing is two things. We're seeing women's expectations getting higher and higher and higher, and we're seeing men's levels of simpery also getting higher and higher and higher, okay? Both of those things are almost tied together on the graph, and they're both going up exponentially. It's a bad situation, guys. You don't want to be blowing smoke up her butt, okay? It's not sexy. It's not attractive. She doesn't like it, okay? Now, in saying that, as always, with everything around this game and dating stuff, it's nuanced. Because on the other side of it, you do want to show that you're attracted to her, okay? And guys can go too far with this thinking. They think, oh, I'm never going to pay her a compliment. I'm never going to say that, you know, she looks nice. I'm never going to say she looks pretty. Because that would be simping, and I'm not a simp. I'm a strong, red-pilled alpha male. And, you know, you can go too far with this stuff because we do need to indicate. We're going to talk about being sexual later, but you do need to indicate on some level you're attracted to her, right? Because otherwise you end up friend zoning yourself, or you're in danger of ending up friend zoning yourself. So you need to acknowledge that, but at the same time, you don't want to be the guy who's liking every single one of our Instagram posts or writing comments under them. And this is classic simp behavior that you would think that guys would have stopped doing by now because it gets called out so much. But they continue to do it. We see it all the fucking time, don't we, right? Guys are just, you know, commenting. Girls come on podcasts, on shows, like, oh my God, you're so beautiful, and like all the hearts and the fire emojis and all that kind of stuff. You've got to cut it out, okay? You've got to cut it out. And even if you're dating her, right, you've got to cut it out. You've got to minimize it. I think that there is a sweet spot to be had between, yes, you know, on the one level, acknowledging that you find her hot, acknowledging you find her sexy. Obviously, that's largely, you know, what you're there, not what you're there for entirely, but that's a big component of it, right? Male to female attraction is very important. But, you know, you're not going to lay down your life just because she happens to be cute. Okay, you know, because, right, let's just imagine for a second, right, all women want this high-value man, this archetypal high-value man. If you're that guy, right, just imagine for a second that you are that guy, right, you are going to have limitless options, all right? If you have limitless options, why are you going to be simping over one chick? It just doesn't make any sense, okay? Well, maybe you could argue it makes sense, but it doesn't, like, in her mind, it's going to be like, well, why is he simping all over me when this guy could have the pick of the bunch? Right? And then she's going to question, well, he can't then be that high value, right? Because if he really was high value, he wouldn't be simping all over me. He would be doing other stuff. So understand the logic, right? Understand life and recognize that giving too much without it being reciprocated, and I think that's a working definition really of simping, giving attention where it is not being reciprocated is a bad thing. As Myron says, no free attention, right? No free attention, okay? You've got to hold back on this because otherwise it's just, well, it's not going to do you any good. And mentally, you're putting yourself on a lower pedestal than these women. You're training yourself to believe that you are less worthy than these women that you find attractive, okay? And mentally, that's a very, very bad thing to do, okay? You don't want to be training your mind in that way. You want to be, if anything, going out into the world with the opposite idea. You want to be going out into the world with the idea of, well, I'm fucking awesome, right? I mean, they are lucky to be spending time with me. That may objectively be a bit of a stretch at the moment because you're still working on yourself, you're still working on your money muscles, game frame, and all of that good stuff. Thank you, John MLD. But that's the aspiration. That's the North Star, the direction that you're going in. And that's certainly what you want to emanate to the world as you are out there on the dating scene, okay? Raging Tomato says, it's only simping if the interest level isn't reciprocated. Yes, I think that is true. I mean, classic simping, I suppose, is putting heart emojis on an OnlyFans model's page or picture and... yeah, you know, and she's never going to look, she's never going to respond, nothing's ever going to come of that. You're just deifying her as this kind of goddess. I think that's like epic level simping. There is probably another level of simpery which is not as insidious, but is also probably not the right frame necessarily, which is, say you're dating a girl, or you've got a girlfriend, and she is very beautiful, but you're just telling her that the whole time. You're sort of focusing everything on that. I think you want to be sort of sparing with the physical compliments, at least certainly at the beginning, and probably all the way through, really, because apart from anything else, it's just like, yeah, okay, she likes to know that she's desired, right? She likes to know that she is found physically attractive. That's going to come through in the sex, okay? That's going to come through in the sexual intimacy between the two of you. But also, she does also want to be appreciated for other things beyond her beauty as well. So I think you can lay it on a bit too thick with the beauty stuff. She's heard it all before anyway. It's a little bit cliche, So I personally, I certainly own it. I don't seek to not compliment women that I'm with or I spend time with. The opposite. I usually like, hey, you look really hot, you look sexy. And particularly if she's sending me pictures and all that kind of stuff, obviously it can be quite fun then. You've got to then, give her some props because she wants to feel desired, right? That's sexy for her. But equally, you also want her to understand it's not your first rodeo, right? It's not the first time you've seen a naked or semi-naked attractive woman, okay? Yeah, she's hot, yeah, you want to be with her, but you're not going to lose your shit if it doesn't happen or you guys end up breaking up or something, okay? Super, super key. So don't simp, don't put her on a pedestal. She's just a human being, okay? She may be a human being who becomes special to you, right? You like her, you're attracted to her, all of that good stuff. Yeah, great. But you're a high-value guy and you've got options and you've got other opportunities in the dating marketplace as well. So it's not the end of the world, whatever happens. JBB, thanks, man. Good to have you on here. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It's good to have your contributions here. He says, even if you have limited options at best, you should still be doing something that adds value to yourself. If she isn't doing it, you have something better to do. Even if you have limited options at best, you should still be doing something that adds value to yourself. If she isn't doing it yet, have something better to do. I think I see where you're coming from there. I mean, look, yeah, if you've got limited options and you're in the dating marketplace, then you want to do a little bit of fake it till you make it. And you want to almost pretend that the options are greater than they are. And that's not, it sounds disingenuous. I'm not saying lie about it. I'm not saying go on the date and go, yeah, I got loads of birds. I'm not talking about that. But you want to, whatever the reality of your situation is, you want to present as a dude who has options. And the reality is you probably do have options. Because it's not just like one woman on the whole planet is going to find you attractive. There are going to be other women out there who do. It's just that maybe you haven't found them yet or you haven't put yourself into contact with them yet, okay? So you've got to hold yourself, you've got to be aware of your value and you've got to own that value, okay? Now, the value might be work in progress, okay? Because you are going to the gym, you're trying to build yourself up, you are working on your finances, you're working on this and that, okay? Yes, it's work in progress, but nevertheless, you know your potential, okay? And your potential is the most important thing because only you know where you can get to, all right? Only you know where you can get to. And, be confident in that.